unquote. So that's the latest from election night. We have so much political news to cover, though. Let's bring in Republican Senator Kevin Cramer from North Dakota, who joins us now. Thanks for joining us, Senator. Let's start with Trump's Veep stakes, because your governor, Doug Burgum, is on the short list to be vice president. Do you think he'd be a good pick? What does he bring to the table?
Well, I think he'd be a good pick. Now, it's interesting, Jake, because he's clearly not from a large swing state with a diverse population. However, he certainly handles himself well on the stump. He defends the president well. He advocates for the president well. But I think more than anything, what he brings to the table for a lot of voters is he brings a level of stability, particularly, I think, on economic matters, but pretty much across the board. His eloquence and articulation on important issues to people, I think, gives them some confidence, and rightfully so.
What about your colleagues in the Senate? Senator Tim Scott, Senator J.D. Vance, Senator Marco Rubio. Obviously, you're pulling for your hometown boy, your home state boy, but what about them?
Well, I have great respect for all of them. They all bring something different, I think, to the race. I think it's hard to deny that Tim Scott brings the greatest political advantage, the best, most electoral benefit to the ticket. And quite honestly, I think Tim Scott would be a great president. So I put him at the front of the line among the senators if the president doesn't choose a governor. I will say, though, I think governors make better candidates, and they definitely make, I think, better presidents than legislators do. It's a very different skill set, and Governor Burgum has proven he's really good at it.
Let's talk about the defense bill, the NDAA. Last week, the House narrowly passed the National Defense Authorization Act. House Republicans added a whole bunch of amendments targeting transgender health care, abortion access, trying to eliminate climate change initiatives. Now, whatever you think of them, and you probably support them, those will not pass in a Democratic-controlled Senate, which is the current reality. Do you support what the House passed, or would you rather that they send you a bill that can easily pass the U.S. Senate?
Well, first of all, I don't expect them to send us a bill that can easily pass the Senate any more than we'll send them one that can easily pass the House. We passed ours out of committee last week. I'm on the Armed Services Committee. And we tackled some of those same issues, obviously with different outcomes. But that's the beauty of the system that our founders created for us. And I frankly love that diversity and that opportunity to bring together the two bills. I just hope we can have floor debate this time. Last year, Chuck Schumer never did bring the Senate bill to the floor. He took the marked up bill and went straight to the conference committee with the House. I would be okay with that this time around as well, because my priorities were pretty well met in the marked up bill. That said, I just think the system's better, and the American public appreciates it more if we have a robust, transparent discussion between the two chambers, in wide open. So, but no, I don't think they should. They're not obligated to send us something that we're going to like any more than we're obligated to send them exactly what they want.
Yesterday, Senate Republicans blocked an attempt by Democrats to legislate a ban on bump stocks. This is after the U.S. Supreme Court struck down a regulatory change, a ban from President Trump on bump stocks. The Supreme Court overturned that last week. This all happened in 2018, a response to the 2017 deadly Las Vegas shooting. You called that court decision a victory. Why? Why is it important for people to be able to have bump stocks that it's not quite turning a semi-automatic rifle or a semi-automatic weapon into a machine gun, but it's certainly in the spirit of being able to rapidly fire? Why is that needed?
Well, that's a separate matter from the Supreme Court's decision. The Supreme Court's decision was a victory because it stood up for the Constitution and the elected members of Congress who passed bills. And that's our responsibility. Your point about the issue itself and the bill from yesterday, I don't expect that yesterday's vote will be the last we hear of it. Bump stocks don't turn a gun into a machine gun, but they can behave like one. The letter of the law is clear. The narrow interpretation of the law is something I support. But on the issue itself, you can't just bring something like that to the floor in the heat of the moment or the emotion of the moment, which is what Chuck Schumer's been doing now 3 weeks in a row, bringing a piece of legislation just to send a message, just to drive a wedge. But I suspect we'll have a robust discussion about it. Maybe the relevant committees will have hearings on it, and people will be able to provide a vote or provide amendments and how they feel about the actual use of bump stocks, whether they should be legal. The Supreme Court said they are.
Republican Senator Kevin Cramer, thanks so much, sir. Appreciate your time.
Always a pleasure, Jake. Thank you.
Will former President Trump announce his running mate over the next few weeks, and which previous rival of